My name is Vince Beiser, and my project for the Pulitzer Center is about the most important solid substance on Earth, the literal foundation of modern civilization: sand. Sand? Why sand? Because sand is the main material that our modern cities are made out of. In today's world, just about every apartment block, every skyscraper, office tower, shopping mall that gets built anywhere from Beijing to Boston is made with concrete, and concrete is basically just sand glued together with cement. Every yard of asphalt roads that connects all those buildings is also made of sand. Every window in every one of those buildings is also made of sand. The silicon chips that power your computers and your cell phones are also made from sand. In short, sand is the essential ingredient that makes modern life possible. And believe it or not, we are starting to run out. How can we be running out of sand? Well, of course, there's a lot of sand in the world, but the thing is we are using exponentially more of it than ever before in history. We're now using 50 billion tons of sand and gravel every year. That's more than enough to blanket the entire state of California. We use more of this natural resource than any other except air and water. There's so much demand for sand that all over the world we are stripping riverbeds, floodplains, and beaches bare, causing massive environmental havoc. In some places, people are stealing and even killing to get at that sand. The main reason for this is the number and size of cities is exploding. Every year there are more and more people on the planet, and every year more and more of them move to cities, especially in the developing world. In 1950, there were about 746 million people. That was less than 1/3 of the world's population that lived in cities. Today, that number is almost 4 billion, more than half of all the people on Earth. The UN predicts that another 2.5 billion will join them in the next 3 decades. We're building the equivalent of 8 New York cities every single year. To do that, we're using enough concrete every year to build a wall 88 feet high, 88 feet wide, right the way around the equator. China alone used more cement in the last few years than the United States used in the entire 20th century. So how do we get all that sand? Well, in some places, multinational companies dredge it up with massive machines. And in other places, local people just haul it away with shovels and pickup trucks. But everywhere, the process causes at least a little bit of damage, anywhere from a small bit to a catastrophic amount. Water sources are being polluted, ecosystems are being destroyed, farmland is being torn up. Sand miners have completely obliterated at least 24 entire islands in Indonesia. So in response, governments around the world have put in all kinds of restrictions. They're trying to clamp down on where and when sand can be mined. That, in turn, has spawned a worldwide boom in illegal sand mining. Organized crime has taken over much of the trade. How do they get away with it? They do what organized crime mafias do everywhere. They bribe police, they bribe local officials, and if you really get in their way, they will kill you. That's right, hundreds of people have been murdered over sand in the last few years. I first reported on this global sand crisis for Wired magazine. And since then, I've done stories about it for the New York Times and for the Guardian newspapers. And I'm working on a book on the subject and looking for more ways to get the story out there. It's a big, important story, and with the Pulitzer Center's help, I'm doing everything I can to get it the attention it deserves.